Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we'll use the Personalized Learning Designer to send grade alerts to students in different user groups in our courses. Oftentimes, it's not uncommon to get requests from high school counselors or student services or our financial aid department requesting information about student performance in our courses. Now, we could manually look this up in our grade book, or we could download our grade book and send the pertinent information. But instead, we're going to use the Personalized Learning Designer to automate this process for us. So in this example, I've created two groups in my course. One is called Weekly Group because they're going to get an alert every week. And the other is the Bi-Semester Group. They'll get grade alerts twice during the semester. Before we create this rule, it is important to note that you must have your groups already created or this won't work. But once you've created your groups, you can scroll down under the administration block and select the Personalized Learning Designer. Let's add a rule. And this first rule we'll set up is the weekly notification group. So I'll call the group or the rule name Weekly Grade Notification. For the event, we want a recurring event because this is going to happen every week. Rather than daily, we'll change it to weekly, and I'll select the day of Monday to send this. I'd like it to send at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to start on September the 3rd, 2018, and I'd like to end it on December 10th, 2018. Once you've configured your preferences, select the Add button, then move to the Conditions tab. Under the Conditions tab, I always like to create my first condition as a user role check. This user role check is just to make sure that I'm sending this only to students and not any other persons that might have been added to our course. So we'll select Save. And now the mandatory condition that we need to select is a group membership check. Then select Add, and we want to know which group is our triggering user in. Since this is the weekly grade notification, we'll select the weekly group here. Select Save. And then under the Actions tab, we're going to select Send Email. Select Add. For the recipient, we're going to select Triggering User. This is going to send the grade notification to the student. We can add a custom recipient if we'd like. And let's suppose this is a high school counselor. So once we've selected or entered the alternate recipient's email address, we'll click Save. In the subject line, I'm going to use some tokens. So I'll select Insert Token. I'm going to select the course name token. And then I'll type grade notification. In the body again, since this is going to the student, I want to personalize it. So write our greeting and then insert token. I'll select the user's first name. If we wanted to select the student's last name, we could do that as well. Both of these are user tokens. And then we'll state that your current course average is, and we're going to select another token to insert. And under course grade tokens, we're going to select grade percent. End your letter. Select Save. Select Save at the bottom. And now we have our rule. So we can check here when there's our recurring event, start dates in the future. That'll show once the September 3rd date reaches. For conditions, we're only sending this email to students who are in the weekly group And what will the email say? And who is it sending it to? If we hover our mouse over here, it'll give us that information. All right, our second rule is a little bit different. This is one that's going to go out twice during the semester to our students, perhaps right at midterms and maybe a few days before the last day to process drops. So we'll select Add a Rule. Select the event type. Now, rather than recurring event this time, we're going to do a specific date and time. I'd like this to send at the midterm, so I'll put October the 7th in, and we'll send this email out at 8 a.m. Once you have your preferences configured, select Add. I also want this rule to go out just a few days before the last day to process drops. So I'm going to select another specific date and time. I don't need to select it under the Event tab again. I just need to change the date. So we'll go November 10th. Select Add. And now we have our two dates and times. Under the Conditions tab, again, this is a personal preference. I like to do a user role check first. Select Add, just to make sure that the triggering user is a student. Select Save. And then the mandatory condition is a group membership check. Select Add. And this will be a member of the bi-semester group. Select Save. Under Actions again, this is almost identical to the other. We'll select Send an Email and Add. For the recipient, we'll send it to the triggering user, and we can carbon copy whoever we'd like by selecting the custom. And once you've typed the recipient's email, select Save. Again, in the subject line, I'm going to select the name under course tokens, and then grade notification. Again, I'll start with my greeting, and I will insert the token, user tokens of first name, space, last name. Your current course average is, and under insert token, we'll again select grade percent. Finish writing your letter. When you're done, select Save. And then select Save at the bottom of the screen. And as you can see here, I forgot to add a role name. So let's do that now. That's a requirement. Call this one bi-semester grade notification. And let's try to save it again. And this time it works. So now we can see when are these notifications going to send. October 7th at 8 a.m. and November 10th at 8 a.m. Who's it going to send it to? Only students in this bi-semester group. And then again, if we hover our mouse over the send email, it'll show us that it's coming from Moodle, who it's going to send it to, any carbon copies, and the subject and body of the message. That's it. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. If there are any other rules you'd like to investigate or see what other things we can do here in Moodle, please leave those in the comments as well. See you soon.